early part of the 19th century, Toledo was known as the glass-making capital of the U.S. Later in the century, the auto industry had a large presence here. As the fortunes of both industries declined, so did Toledo. Today, the smokestacks of many of those factories stand lifeless along the city skyline. The unemployment rate is 12%, well above the national average.
I was a nurse. When I found out that I was terminated from my position, I was scared, mad, didn't know, especially with the economy and looking in the want ads, if there were any jobs that I was even going to be able to get another job. Worried about my children, how I was going to pay the bills. I received workman's comp because I was injured at work, and I also get food stamps. It makes me feel bad about myself. Always had a job. I've always worked since I've been 14. It's embarrassing. I go to different stores, try not to, you know, like I always went to this one specific Kroger's, but now I go to the one that's a little farther away, but I would less likely to know somebody, and when this is all over and done with, I can go back to my regular Kroger's and no one's gonna know. Because of the fact that I'm an LPN, there is not that many jobs in this area. It's just, you can look in the paper and there's nothing. And all around, there's tons of jobs, but being the fact that my children are here, I have family here, and their dad and his family are all here, it'd be very hard for me to pick up and leave with little kids. I was injured and I didn't have a job. I felt like I was just really in a bad spot. I go to school right now, and that's helped immensely. I get really good grades right now though, because I have more time to focus. I definitely overcompensate. Like I overdo it, I guess, more with the school because I don't have the job filling that time that I had. Hopes I have for the future right now are just to maintain what we have where we're at. And that's the truth. I don't want to lose my house or the things that, you know, I've worked so hard for, or, you know, I can't imagine if I had to downsize and go to an apartment with 2 kids, what would happen to my animals. And, you know, I just want to maintain where we're at. No longer do I wish for bigger and better. I just, right here, we're good, we're safe. Hopefully things will change and I can start aspiring like how I was prior to, but right now it's just keeping us where we're at.
28 years old. I was a factory worker. I worked in the factory full-time. Then I got laid off. Emotionally, it's been tough. Definitely angry, sad, upset. Didn't know why this was happening to me. I'm currently collecting unemployment. I would love to be able to find another job that would work with my current school schedule, but anything I find, I make less than what I do on unemployment, so I have to stay on unemployment, be able to afford my bills. Kind of lost without work, if that makes sense. I don't have a purpose sometimes, but thankfully I'm in school right now, so I'm concentrating in that a lot. I'm graduating soon, so that's going to help out a lot, and actually find a career job rather than just a job. Filling the void, I definitely would say I'd have to say I've been cleaning a lot more, trying to keep myself busy, trying to find stuff to do. School's helped out quite a bit, because it's hard when you're not working, when you're used to working. That's for sure. I've been working since I was 18, so for 10 years I've always had a job. Pretty much always worked full-time. Worked part-time in the beginning to finish out high school, but then once I got to college I worked full-time and went to college part-time just so I could cover all the bills and not get too indebted before I graduated. Hopes for the future is just to graduate soon and find a job that I make decent money at and I'm actually happy with. That would probably be about the best. Wouldn't have to be super rich, just enough to be comfortable, not have to constantly worry. That would be very nice.
I'm 26 years old, and currently I am employed as a microbiologist. It's only a temporary position. I don't know if one day I'm going to walk in there and they're just going to decide that they don't need me. Like anything, it's kind of a scary situation. You don't know when that paycheck's going to stop. And like, I worked so hard to actually get a degree, and the best I could do was just a temporary position. Just holding out hope that eventually it'll happen, and that I won't lose my job before I find a permanent position. Best I could do, basically. I can't really afford to go back to school right now. Consistently worrying about losing your job puts a major stress in your life and your relationship and whatever you do. You're constantly worried about what's going to happen. You're worried about what you did at your job, if they're going to find some reason to just cut you. It's all left up in the air. It's just real easy for being as a temp. They can just let you go whenever they feel like it. They don't have to go through any HR policies or anything like that. They can just be like, nope, we don't need you anymore. You're gone. And kind of gets to you after a while. And you really just don't know what to do some days. Where you just look at all the bills you have to pay, and it's just like, I lose this job, I lose everything. We're under contract, but they're not telling us for how long. Eventually it is going to end, and pretty much it's just a countdown to when it does. I'm kind of stuck right now. Well, eventually I hope to find a permanent position that's got relatively decent pay, and that I'm not going to be treated like nothing. Right now they have the mentality that if you don't like it, let's see you try to find another job. I have been lucky in that recently I have had a couple of other companies contact me about interviews. I have one coming up here in the next week or so. I'm hoping it's going to go well. It seems like it's a good company, and it's actually a permanent position, not a temporary for once. I guess I'm just keeping my hopes up that eventually it'll happen.
24. I'm trying to get a job for over a year now. Not having a job isn't all that great, and I don't know, going to school and having financial aid and having a finite amount of money in your bank account, and you gotta really watch it, and you can't, go out and buy something even if you really need it, and you gotta think about it. Like, do I really need a laptop to write this 30-page paper? Or, can I really afford this kind of food, or am I gonna eat macaroni and cheese for 3 months? You really have to think about all your expenditures and how they add up each month, and every single time you check your bank account, you're thinking, ooh, wow, I'm spending too much money. I don't know, you start to get creative with doing stuff that really doesn't take money. Like, I don't know, half the stuff that I usually do now is cost-free. I write a lot. I wrote 2 20-page papers, 1 10-page paper. I finished a provisional patent on an invention. I search for jobs. I don't really watch TV that much. I kind of got sick of it. It's like a big rerun every single time you turn on CNN. I just get my car and drive. You gotta pass the time, because if you think about it too much, it really gets to it quick. You can easily get depressed. You get cabin fever. When I got my first good job, when I was doing a co-op, I went from working in a restaurant, cooking food, to doing engineering and product development, making almost twice as much. And the change up was, yeah, you know, it was a bigger paycheck, but you know, it's just gonna sit there because you don't know what to do with it. Oh man. I can't wait till I graduate. I'm tired of homework. I want to go out and do something instead of writing about doing something or saying you can do something and doing an assignment. I really hope that I can actually finally get a job. Like I just interviewed for a company that places jobs, and it's so weird that right now I'm unemployed and I make nothing, and I'm interviewing for jobs that, you know, make a lot of money, and it's just kind of, this hasn't really sank in. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I want to start working.
I no longer do I wish for bigger and better. I just, right here, we're good, we're safe. Hopefully things will change and I can start aspiring like how I was prior to. But
I really hope that
right now it's just
I can
keeping us where we're
find a
at.
job.
Hopes the
I guess I'm
future
just keeping my
is
hopes
just to
up that eventually it'll happen.
graduate soon.
Hopes I have for the future right now are just to
find a
maintain
job that
what we have.
I
Where
make
we're at.
decent money at and I'm
I want to
actually
start working.
happy with.